Welcome to Beyond Bitewings, the business side of dentistry, brought to you by Edwards and Associates PC. Join us as we discuss how to build your dental practice, optimize your income, and plan for your future. This podcast is distributed with the understanding that Edwards and Associates PC is not rendering legal, accounting, or professional advice. Listeners should consult with their business advisors before acting on any of the information that is shared. At Edwards and Associates PC, our business is the business of dentistry. For help or more information, visit our website at eandassociates.com. Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Bitewings. In today's episode, we have two very special guests that I was fortunate enough to run into while I was at the SWDC show here in Dallas. So we have Shelby.
Hello.
And Sarah.
Hey, everyone.
Hi, and they're both with Barton and Associates, which is the fourth largest staffing agency in the country. And, one of the reasons why I decided to have an episode with these guys is because, a lot of times, we talk about RDAs and front office, but we never really focus a lot about the locum tenens. And then, there were certain things that we were talking about before the episode, and we just decided why not put it on an episode and talk more about it. That way our listeners and all the people out there can get to know more about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us. We're very excited to be here.
Absolutely. We appreciate it and love getting the word out.
Excellent. So, what do you guys think of the show?
This is our first time here, so we weren't exactly sure what to expect, but seems like it's a pretty good turnout this year.
We're definitely hoping to be back next year and, I know we're starting to do a lot more conferences around the nation. Again, trying to get the word out and get as many providers working. And we are having a lot of fun here in Dallas, and we've met a lot of great people, including yourself. So no complaints.
Okay, that's amazing. How many offices do you guys have around the country?
So we have 9 offices all throughout our time zones here in the U.S. So we're based out of Boston. That's where our headquarters is, Massachusetts. So this Dallas heat is definitely something we're not used to. But yes, we have offices in every time zone working around the clock for our docs and our clients.
So, locum tenens, first of all, let's talk a little bit about that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what is it?
So locum tenens is actually Latin for to hold one's place. It's definitely been a concept for years, right? But specifically in dentistry, we've seen a really high uptick in dentists that are interested in doing this kind of work, especially after COVID. Burnout is a huge topic of conversation. So kind of takes the overhead of practicing dentistry that makes a lot of folks not as happy to be dentists, if you will, and just lets them come in, do the work without having to, deal with insurances and all of that.
Yeah. Well, Shelby, I remember you telling me, who would be the ideal people for locum tenens positions, right?
So, really, we work with all different kinds of providers in different situations. We work with a lot of new grads. It's definitely an amazing opportunity for those just starting their careers, especially because it can be very time consuming to find the ideal permanent position. And then you have to deal with all the credentialing and everything. So as a new graduate, locums gives you the opportunity to travel to different areas, experience different office settings as far as, private practices, corporations, community health centers, and it allows you to experience different patient demographics too. So it's a really good way to figure out where you want to be. We also work with a lot of retired providers who maybe, they're not up to working
quote unquote retired.
Yeah, so they don't want to work full time. They don't want to work full time. They're done running an office, they've been doing it for years, and it's just too much. Again, like Sarah said, the burnout is real, but they don't want to completely stop doing what they love. And I know a lot of us, especially throughout COVID, we get really complacent and stir crazy at home. So what better way to fill your time? You can still be retired, but you can travel to places you want to travel to for free, I might add, because your travel's paid for. You go into an office short term, choose your time frame and schedule, and practice when you want to. It's a really good opportunity for a lot of providers, depending on your lifestyle and what you're looking for.
Right. That actually gets me thinking, because I know there are certain lenders out there, especially for startup people. What they'll do is, once they've issued the working capital to them, once the loan is closed, they want the practice to be making a certain amount of money that would at least cover the overhead, because they want to make sure most of these loans, I mean, you guys may or may not know this, there's usually no down payment, right? Especially if you're a dentist. And so they're very, very much invested into your business. So they want to make sure that your business is doing well. And when I say business, I'm not necessarily talking about a brick and mortar location. It's basically any form of income that's being reported out of that entity. So a lot of times what these new startups will do is they will do an associateship on the side that will help supplement that income, that cash flow that's coming in to cover some of the overhead. And I'm thinking, there are two hurdles usually that they run into. One is that sometimes when they're trying to apply for these associateships themselves, the potential person who is currently looking for an associate, a part-time associate, when they see that they already own and practice, I don't know, that acts like a deterrent. They're like, I don't know if this person's going to really focus a lot.
Right.
And then on the other side of it, sometimes, the person that's looking for a part-time associate, they're looking for people to work at a very specific time. So it takes away that flexibility. So Locum Tenens sounds like can meet all of those criteria that cannot be filled by the associateship that they might be doing on the side, which is getting a lot of flexibility.
Definitely flexibility. And try to make it as easy as possible for our providers. We have dedicated credentialing teams that will collect all the documents and take care of, sending that to the facility. We have licensing teams that everybody knows getting licenses is just quite a pain. And, it can take so much time out of, anyone's day to sit on hold and track your applications and make sure you have every piece of paper in the right folder. And so our licensing team trying to facilitates that process for you. So rather than you taking the time to sit on hold, we have, our friends at Barton who will do that for you. Definitely. And travel as well. One of those things about locums that I've seen, it's funny that you were talking about how if there's someone wants a part-time associateship, a lot of times they will say, oh, well, you own an office and you're within this certain radius of our office. It gets kind of a conflict there. Sometimes it requires traveling, and we have a team that books everything, is able to put rewards points in for you. So, we just try to make it as easy as possible for
that's amazing.
For our doctors.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side of that, too, we have an amazing team of account executives that work with all of the clients and facilities that we find providers for. So as a locum tenens provider, you're really giving back to a lot of these underserved communities who maybe don't have a chance to, get in with dental providers, and really helping out these facilities. I know a lot of them after COVID were struggling to make ends meet. And we've actually, by placing our providers, have saved a lot of facilities throughout the country from having to close their doors. And we hate to, hear that they're at risk of that happening, or even having to have to turn away patients because they don't have the providers in there that they need to have everyone be seen. So
wow, that's amazing. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it goes beyond just, how it could benefit them monetarily.
Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know we work a lot with different types of clients, everything from DSOs to the Indian Health Services, private practice. So, it really is just a good opportunity for folks to have the opportunity to give back.
Okay, that's good. And how quickly? So let's say if somebody is interested.
Yeah.
Let's say, I don't know, somebody who's quote unquote retired, but is interested in this. What would be the way to, reach out to a company, let's say like you, your company, and then, just get the process there? How long does it take till they land their first?
It's hard to say. I like to kind of describe the locum tenens market as a revolving door. It's very fast moving. We have jobs opening up and getting filled and closing like every 5 minutes. Wow. I could tell a provider, I have 3 jobs in that area right now. 1 could fill, 2 more could open up in the same day. So it really depends on the demand, what facilities are looking, and where you're located and how far you're willing to travel.
Right.
A provider that's more open to licensing and traveling really outside of their local radius would have a better chance of getting locked up in a position fairly quickly. I've had turnaround as quick as a job comes out. I call my provider. It's the, ideal. They're available. We get them presented and the client's like ready to move, and it's locked up in a day.
Yeah.
And I've had others that maybe take a couple weeks turn around. So it really just depends.
And the thing about Barton Associates too, we do a really good job of being proactive because the locum market is so fast moving. We like to have everything ready to go. So when that perfect job comes out, presented, I know your availability. I know when you might be available to interview with the office.
Right.
We just try to make it as quick and easy as possible by getting everything on the front end.
And also one thing that I think sets Barton apart from the other locum tenens agencies is that we are very relationship focused. So I'm not just gonna get on the phone with a provider and then get their CV from them and blast it to, all the clients that we are working with. I'm going to spend the time getting to know this provider, understanding why you're looking for locums, understanding your lifestyle, your wants, your needs, your expectations, and really working towards finding situations that are ideal for you. We're not gonna force a job on you that makes no sense. And I find, a lot of my providers, actually I have one coming to visit me in Dallas tonight. They become our friends and our family because it's easier to put someone in a good situation that works for them if you know them.
Exactly.
That's true. I agree.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would say the relationship, especially when it comes to traveling, right? If you don't trust the person that you're working with to make sure that, I'm going to travel across 3 states to go work at this facility in a place I've never been. You want to have a really good working relationship with your recruiter and your providers to make sure that there's that rapport there, that trust, that, okay, Shelby, you know me, you know what I like, you know my clinical and personal preferences when it comes to taking an assignment. You've taken the time to get to know me. I trust that you're not going to just send me to the middle of nowhere with no support,
Well, what if they do want to go in the middle of nowhere?
Oh, we have options for you, that's for sure.
And we'd know that.
Yeah. Know ahead of time.
I mean, I had one provider who his favorite thing to do was golf. Any free time he had, he'd be golfing.
Does not surprise me at all.
On his bucket list was, and he also loves to travel, and he was like, I would love to see as many golf courses in the country as possible. So we started getting licenses, and I started presenting him to jobs everywhere, and he has gotten to see golf courses in over 12 states that he'd never been to now because we were able to place him, and he travels out there for free, makes money during the week, and spends his weekends playing golf.
That's the life, I tell you.
Exactly. So definitely a good opportunity for work and play.
Yes, for sure. And one of the biggest hangups I think people think of when it comes to doing this travel dentistry is, I have family, I have pets, I can't just uproot my life here and just go wanderlust or whatever, So Barton, we have folks who their kids come with them on assignment. We're able to help facilitate your spouse's plane tickets and help out with that. A lot of our providers have dogs and cats that come on assignment with them, pet-friendly accommodations. Shelby's doctor, who we're meeting tonight, is bringing her dog.
Her
here.
dog, Rich Dollars, is his name, and he's the
Rich
cutest.
Dollars.
Rich Dollars, DOLLAS.
A the dollar sign. I was just saying.
Yes. But actually, I had her placed at an office where he basically became the mascot. We were from work, he's coming with her, and they were like, just bring him into the office. I actually had a provider a couple years ago who wouldn't go anywhere without her 2 horses. She would drive her RV, and we would.
Back up there. For a second. Did I hear that correctly?
You sure did.
A provider with 2 horses. Would not go anywhere without those 2 horses?
No, because she had no one to care for them. And are you a pet owner?
I used to have 2 dogs. Yes.
So they're your babies. I'm devastated being here without mine. I know Sarah is too.
Oh, yeah.
So, if we're able to accommodate, we do anything we can.
Right.
We also have, again, she was saying, people have kids. They don't know what to do about childcare if they're going to be away or stuff like that. And, we'll even go as far as to look up childcare options, reach out to the facility to see if they have childcare options, look into places that might be close to the office we're interested in sending you. And we would account for that when we're negotiating your rate. This is how much extra you're going to need to cover a nanny or childcare to come with you.
Oh, that's
so,
amazing. That's going above and beyond for sure.
We really do. We do everything that we can to make sure that we put our providers in the best situation, whatever we need to do to make it work so that they can continue
to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Now, on to the boring questions. I have to, because, business side of dentistry. Right? From a 1099 perspective, right? So let's say somebody hires a Locum Tenens dentist from your agency. Does the payment go to you guys, or do they have to have the Locum Tenens person fill in a W-9 and then the company's going to basically pay them directly?
So Barton has every provider fill out a W-9 and they get paid out through Barton. So basically when we're working with the clients in the facilities, we quote them a bill rate, and in that rate includes our overhead service fee as well as the provider's daily or hourly rate and their travel expenses. So
Okay, cool.
Barton.
Okay, so Barton gets the payment. Okay, that's amazing. Guys, listeners, that really helps with making sure that the 1099s are being issued correctly.
For sure, absolutely. Funny enough, people do this full time as their main source of income or only source of income. So, we actually have tax seminars every year to help out those folks who might be new to 1099 contracting. And they can meet with, it's like a Zoom call, and ask any questions that they might have to make sure they're doing their taxes correctly. So.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Because we all know dentists are... See, I don't even have to finish that sentence.
I wasn't going to say it. So.
Yeah. I mean,
they're really good at what they do. They're really good at what they do.
They are. It's the same with me. Like, if you ask me to do an implant, I mean, how good do you think I'm going to be?
Right.
I'm doing that, right? So, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. But at the same time, most dental schools don't offer true business classes. So, it's not their fault. I'm sure a lot of them do have the acumen. It's just that was never taught.
Definitely.
So, having someone to guide them through that can go a long way. But it's I'm glad to hear that Barton and Associates will go that far to actually connect them with, let's say, CPAs or other professionals that can help them figure out, okay, what do I do with this 1099?
For sure. And then, the other thing is too, we have the option, if you have like an LLC or an S Corp or something like that, to also contract with your company and get paid through that way as well.
And that's something we recommend.
Yes.
Depending on which state you're operating from, right?
Definitely depends on the state, but yes, good to always know that that's an option as well.
Right. That's good. Well, thank you so much for being on the episode today. It was fantastic. I'm sure the listeners learned a lot.
Of course.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us. I mean, this has been great, and we're excited to be here. So
great to connect, for sure.
Same here. All right. Shelby, Sarah, you guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and the rest of the
show.
conference.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, you guys too.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for listening today. Be sure to subscribe to Beyond Bitewings on your favorite podcast platform. For more information, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, or reach out to us on our website. You can also shoot us an email at info@eandassociates.com.